Look down at your coffee cup. Go ahead. Look at it. You think you're having a stressful morning because your internet connection dropped for 4 seconds during a meeting? Try telling that to a human being whose entire 15-year career hinges on a single fragile string of code transmitted across 3 billion miles of freezing, empty vacuum. Welcome to the Space Center. Today, we aren't launching you into orbit. No zero-gravity nausea or pressurized suits required. Instead, we are taking you behind the heavy, security-badged doors of the most over-engineered office building on planet Earth to meet my colleagues, the eccentric, brilliant, and dangerously over-caffeinated individuals who keep the cosmos running on schedule. We are ranking every single layer of space scientist, from the wide-eyed interns sleeping under their desks to the god-tier mission directors who hold the power to abort a $3 billion rocket launch with a single word. We're dissecting what they actually do, the bizarre hierarchy they navigate, and exactly how much money they make to handle the literal pressure of the universe. Before I hand you your visitor pass, we must establish the ground rules of the facility. Fact 1. The operational hierarchy you are about to see is verified by teams of humans who haven't seen natural sunlight since 2019, and definitely don't get invited to normal weekend barbecues. Fact 2. If a red warning light starts flashing overhead during our walk, please remain calm. 9 times out of 10, it just means someone in the propulsion lab left a foil-wrapped burrito in the break room microwave again. Before we step down the first corridor, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. It feeds the local algorithm gods, which keeps the power grid running in this facility for another week. Level 1. The research intern and lab tech meet Timmy. Timmy has a shiny new degree in physics, 3 years of cumulative sleep deprivation, and a sense of wonder that hasn't been crushed yet. In the Space Center ecosystem, the tech is the backbone of basic physical survival. They clean the hyper-sterile clean rooms, calibrate microscopic sensors, and organize millions of lines of raw telemetry data. If a satellite sends back a terabyte of pure digital static, Timmy is the guy who spends 16 consecutive hours running data cleaning scripts so the senior staff can eventually glance at a pretty color-coded graph. They earn around $35,000 to $50,000 a year. It's like being hired as a high-end chef for an elite restaurant, but your actual job for the first 8 months is hand-peeling 40 pounds of potatoes every morning while everyone else takes credit for the steak. How does it feel knowing that humanity's next groundbreaking discovery rests on a guy surviving entirely on instant noodles and pure anxiety? Level 2. The data analyst and software engineer. Next up, meet Sarah. Sarah doesn't look at stars through traditional optical telescopes. She looks at stars through endless matrices of Python, C++, and assembly code. When a multi-billion-dollar deep space telescope captures light from an exoplanet, it doesn't spit out a pristine 4K desktop wallpaper. It outputs millions of binary ones and zeros. Sarah writes the complex processing algorithms that translate that digital noise into an actual image of a distant alien ocean. More importantly, she writes the fail-safe code that prevents a deep space probe from accidentally wiping its own hard drive during a scheduled routine software patch. Their pay sits comfortably between $75,000 and $115,000 annually. Imagine updating your phone's operating system over Wi-Fi, but if the download freezes at 99%, a rover on Mars permanently turns into a multi-million-dollar brick of useless metal. No pressure at all. Level 3, the astrophysicist. Dr. Eris, the theoretical wizard of the floor. People constantly confuse astrophysicists with astronauts, but trust me, Eris does not go into space. Eris stays firmly in his office chair applying the laws of physics and quantum mechanics to figure out how stars die, how black holes eat galaxy clusters, and why dark matter is playing hide-and-seek with modern science. They don't touch hardware. They build theoretical mathematical models that make high school calculus look like simple addition. An entry to mid-level astrophysicist pulls in $90,000 to $140,000 per year. It is the ultimate cosmic detective work. It's like standing outside a massive locked sports stadium, listening to the muffled roar of the crowd through a thick brick wall, and correctly guessing the exact score, the referee's shirt size, and the brand of hot dogs being sold inside. Level 4. The Planetary Scientist and Astrobiologist. Say hello to Maya. While Eris obsessively stares at black holes light years away, Maya cares about dirt, ice, and microscopic alien microbes right in our own solar backyard. Planetary scientists study the geology of Mars, the subsurface oceans of Europa, and the liquid methane lakes of Titan. Astrobiologists specifically hunt for biosignatures, amino acids, organic molecules, or strange chemical spikes. They are the ones who tell the rover drivers where to dig to find 4-billion-year-old fossilized bacteria. Their salary ranges from $85,000 to $130,000 annually. Imagine traveling to the middle of the Sahara Desert, picking up a single grain of sand, and writing a 400-page academic paper on what the desert's weather was like on a specific Tuesday 4 billion years ago. Level 5. The Aerospace Engineer and Payload Specialist. This is Marcus. Marcus is where theoretical physics meets brutal engineering reality. When the astrophysicist says, "We need to put an ultra-sensitive infrared camera near Jupiter," Marcus is the engineer who actually builds the frame, integrates the cooling systems, and ensures the whole assembly doesn't shake itself into fine powder during a high-vibration launch. Heat shields, rocket thrusters, payload separation mechanisms, that's all Marcus's domain. They command a salary between $95,000 and $150,000 per year. It's like building an intricately delicate antique grandfather clock, strapping it to a massive stick of dynamite, blasting it over a mountain, and expecting the clock to keep perfect time down to the millisecond when it hits the ground. Level 6, the Flight Controller and Operations Specialist. Meet Commander Dave. When a rocket leaves the pad or a probe enters orbit around Saturn, Dave and his team take full operational control. Flight controllers live in mission control. They monitor live telemetry, fuel pressure, orbital decay, power grids, and thermal levels. If a solar panel fails to unfold properly mid-flight, Dave has roughly 3 minutes to diagnose the system and execute a manual override before the craft loses battery power forever. They earn anywhere from $110,000 to $160,000 annually. Imagine playing a hyper-complex video game where your controller has a 20-minute lag. Your screen displays only raw diagnostic text, and if you press the wrong button, a $500 million vehicle vaporizes in real time. Level 7. The Principal Investigator. Enter Dr. Vance. Before a single bolt is turned or a line of code is written, a space mission is just an idea on paper. Vance is the mastermind behind the entire science concept. The principal investigator proposes the mission, secures grants from governments or international coalitions, and leads the scientific vision for a decade or more. They don't spend their days running code anymore. They spend their days defending their scientific budget in front of congressional committees and international boards. A seasoned principal investigator earns between $130,000 and $190,000 a year. They are like the executive director of a blockbuster movie franchise. Except instead of pitching studio executives on superhero sequels, they have to convince government officials to give them $2 billion to shoot a camera at an asteroid. Level 8. The Astronaut. And now, the public icon. Dr. Elena Notice, where Elena sits in the functional hierarchy. Contrary to popular belief, astronauts aren't usually the ones designing the instruments or writing the core theoretical physics. They are elite operational scientists, pilots, and field specialists. They train for years to execute precise scientific experiments in microgravity, perform exterior spacewalk repairs, and manage high-stress safety protocols. Government astronauts are typically paid on civil service scales, pulling in roughly $105,000 to $160,000 per year. They are effectively the world's most highly educated field technicians performing precision experiments inside a pressurized thermos, floating in a vacuum where a single loose seal means instant disaster. Level 9. The mission director. At the absolute top of the operational pyramid sits Director Harrison when a storm approaches the launch site, or A sensor returns an ambiguous reading 10 seconds before ignition. Harrison holds ultimate authority. The mission director balances political pressure, international engineering teams, public relations, and raw physics. One word from Harrison, go or no go, can greenlight a historic launch or scrub a billion-dollar effort after years of preparation. They command salaries ranging from $160,000 to over $220,000 annually. It's like being the air traffic controller for the entire planet. Except every aircraft is an experimental prototype, and the eyes of the entire world are watching your screen live. It is easy to look at the ranks, the titles, and the salary figures and treat a space center like any other corporate ladder. We assign titles to human beings and organize them into neat departments, ranks, and pay grades. But when you step past the security gates and turn off the warning lights, none of these people are doing this work for the corporate ladder. They stay up until 3:00 a.m. double-checking a decimal point, not because it earns them a performance bonus, but because that decimal point might reveal how a star died 5 billion years ago. They build engines, write software, and analyze data to push human awareness one small step further into a cold, silent universe that doesn't care about our titles. We drew lines between the ranks and called them a hierarchy. The universe just called it human curiosity trying to understand itself. Drop a comment below letting me know which level of scientist you'd last 5 minutes in without breaking a sweat. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next entry. Log entry closed. See you on the next ascent.